Hey guys, wanted to go over this article I found on Zero Hedge regarding the Cerveza sickness passports. Microsoft Big Tech Coalition developing Rockefeller funded Cerveza sickness passports. And I heard about this, or I've been hearing about this in the news. I'm sure you have as well. I didn't realize the tech companies and the groups that are involved here. We've got this group calling itself the Vaccination Credential Initiative, VCI, and it includes Microsoft, Salesforce, and Oracle. So you got big tech backing this for sure. Also, you've got, unfortunately, my healthcare provider when I'm here in the United States, the Mayo Clinic. Looks like they're in this group as well. And basically how they roll this out is anyone who is vaccinated will receive a QR code that can be stored on their mobile phone in the Wallet app. Those without phones will have access to the printed version. So first of all, and you'll see this article as we go down makes less and less sense to me. And if someone could open my eyes to what I'm missing, I would greatly appreciate it. By all means, let me know in the comments below. So you've got your phone, you got the QR code, okay, I get it. And then you go and you just scan it next time you want to go to a concert or some sort of sporting event or to the grocery store, restaurant, bar, etc. But you'll notice throughout this entire article, they're always talking about, well, this is a good idea, but we've got to make sure that we're keeping people's privacy secure. We've got to put a priority on people's privacy. And what doesn't make sense to me is if you've got a QR code, but it's completely secure, meaning your thumbprint isn't attached to it, your face isn't attached to it, your name isn't attached to it, because that's how we're keeping privacy secure. What would prevent me from just giving it to a friend and having them use it? And the example that first came to my mind is when I was in college, I had a good buddy and we looked similar, and he was a year older. So when I was 20 years old, he was 21, we'd just go to the bar and he'd walk in with his ID and just have a gal bring it back to me. And 10 minutes later, I'd go in with the exact same ID. So what prevents someone doing that with the QR code? I don't know if this was very well thought through. And if they can't do that for whatever reason, well, then that means that they're getting our personal information every time you scan it. So it definitely would not be private. And of course, another group that is on board is Klaus and Bigglesworth, says right here, which also has backing, the Common Pass they're calling it, which also has backing from the World Economic Forum. Shocker. Oh, and there's an ad for Rebel Capitalist Pro. My online guy, Gene, has been playing around with Google Ads, so I think it followed me to Zero Hedge, talking about no privacy. Okay, individuals are going to have to produce vaccination records for a lot of aspects of getting back to life as quote unquote normal. So they don't explicitly say it here in the article, or they're not, these people who are in favor of this common pass, let's call it, they're not coming out and saying it, but the bottom line is you're most likely going to need this to get into sporting events, fly, live music events, go to a restaurant, grocery store, etc. We'll see how far it goes. If it does come out, obviously there's no certainties, there are probabilities, but I think this is being talked about more and more and more. So we need to think about what happens if this pans out, and what are we going to do to protect ourselves and our family if this is something we do not want to be a part of. If you want to be a part of it, fantastic, great. But my point has always been it should be your decision. It shouldn't be mandated by the government. And I think the argument, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear from you. in the comments below. But I think the argument is, well, George, excuse me, we need to know when people are vaccinated, then they feel safe coming out of the house, and then we can get the economy back to our V-shaped recovery, which I would argue is not going to happen. But life can kind of go back to normal because we know that everyone that has that pass, you can go into this sporting event. You don't have to worry about getting sick. Well, okay, but then what's the vaccine for in the first place? If I don't get that. The way I understand it, the way these people are pitching the vaccine, the same people are talking about the common pass and the passport, are saying that you get vaccinated. So if you do get exposed to the cerveza sickness, then you don't get sick. And I think they're saying that you might be able to pass it on. Okay. But if we have a small group of the population that's disproportionately affected negatively by the cerveza sickness, why wouldn't we just give those people the option to go get the vaccine? Then they don't have to worry about getting sick. And for the rest of the people who are healthy, thin, maybe under the age of 50, where the case fatality rate is very similar to what it is with the flu, I don't think that's really debatable, then those people can just go on with life and they don't really have to worry about the future and infecting or getting their relatives that may be at a higher risk group. They don't have to worry about getting them sick because those people in the higher risk group have gone down on their own free will and they've taken a shot. And if they don't want to take the shot, then no problem. They're just taking, they may not see any upside to maybe the downside risk of taking a vaccine that hasn't been tested, let's say, as long as others have. And I just don't see, there's no consistency here. And that's what I wanted to bring up with this article, along with letting you guys know that big tech is behind this. They're talking about it. Will it come to fruition? I'll let you be the judge. But I just see a lot of inconsistency in the thought here because they're saying that you should get the vaccine and it will protect you against getting sick. But then they're also saying that everyone that has been vaccinated should have some sort of passport. So we're all just in groups where everyone has been vaccinated. But if people don't have to worry about getting sick because they've already taken the shot, then what's the point of the passport? It makes no sense to me. So again, I wanted to bring this to your attention. If you're someone who understands their, let's call it rationale, for lack of a better word, let me know in the comments. And if you think this is totally bogus and there's some sort of ulterior motive or agenda, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. My main thing, and I've said this from the very beginning, is this should be the individual's decision. Whether you want to go outside, whether you don't want to go outside, whether you want to wear whatever protective covering, that should not be mandated by the government, in my opinion. I think the individual business should be able to set the rules for their business. And I think individuals should be able to make those decisions for themselves and their family based on how they want to live their lives and the data that we have access to. So anyway, love to hear your thoughts in the comments, guys. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you on the next video.